Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020. This is All Rounder episode number 38. We're in the final kilometers, the day before the national championships begin. This is the Hageland race.
15 kilometers
No puncher
remaining.
today, but there's also 3 team leaders, so leadership has been split. And as we go to prepare for this one, Plankart just added his name to the list. And Coolin is the guy that has been with me all along, so we'll see if Plankart still stays under my control. Not sure why I suddenly got him. But the 2 leaders, besides myself, Luke Rowe, yeah, -2 today. And
There's now just 10 kilometers
Say,
left.
-1 today. So these main guys are not set, not ready. I only have 2 supporters, so it's not like I have a ton of support. But Peloton splitting. 58 riders as we approach the final 7K, and I'm liking my chances a little bit. I have a +4 race day condition. Say is here. Plankart has never made it forward. In fact, I lost control of Plankart when the group split, so all I have is Coolin, and that's 5.8K. He does not have much left in the tank. But we're going to get him pushing forward a little bit. At least get me out front. And I can kind of control things myself.
Only 5
there.
kilometers left.
Alright, we'll use that transcend so he can go a little bit longer, a little bit harder, a little bit faster. And at this point, I just want him to give me a little bit of a lead out. Keep me fresh for the finish. Alright, there we go.
There goes the sprint. The strong men are giving their all. Oh my, the guys up front aren't
1.5K.
going to be making too many friends today.
There we go. Final kilometer. Get out of my way. Coming
Well,
through the
nobody
field.
can
This will
dispute
be a
that
decent
win.
finish.
It was
Millier takes
very
the
well
win.
deserved.
Say takes 4th. So good finish for him. I almost cracked the top 10. It was 12th. I was still coming ahead a little bit left. Red bar wise, I mean, we're looking at about 4% there,
who appear
so
to be fairly numerous in this difficult race.
could have gone, 20 meters sooner. Not much of a difference, so timing was pretty good on that. Just the lead out wasn't quite there. I wasn't quite to the front. Generally, on those, I'm riding solo, and so I'm looking more towards being in the front position and then just hanging on as best I can. And I tend to finish a little higher with that than trying to be in the pack and sprint against the sprinters.
Now for the best moments of the day.
Are, faster than I am. Only a +2 for the Nationals, but that is what was expected of me for the day, so at least it's a net neutral. It gives me a 72 time trial, 76 prologue, and with an 18-kilometer run, it's pretty much dead even between the two. So, a 74, that's not bad. 74 is not bad. Resistance also, with that +5, is pretty tolerable. The expectation, a little high though, top 10 with the race day condition bonus. I could see that happening. Without it, I don't think there's any way that I crack the top 10. I mean, Orion right now is the edge of the top 10 at a minute 22. Now Murphy at a minute 18 off of TJ Van Garderen's time of 22:40. Getting within a minute, maybe, possible. Not going to be easy though, really not. The climbing sections, I'm losing time through there. Not much for the climbing sections. They're not steep, they're not long, but they'll have an impact. So, been hovering between a 75, 76 to try to keep enough stamina to get towards the end. Pretty technical. It would be nice if technical. I think in the future, if they could figure out in development of this game, we've talked about some development aspects of Pro Cyclist here in recent episodes. One other thing I would love to see happen, and I don't think it's coming anytime soon, but what I'd love to see is, we've talked about how through corners are kind of dead zones in this game. They do not get the coverage that they need. everyone remains side by side through there. Nothing gained, nothing lost, as we're gaining on 2 guys as we approach the finish here. The 6th place, 44 seconds off the pace so far, but there's still quite a few riders to go. It's going to be tough to stay in that top 10. I did make it within that 1 minute mark, so that was nice. We're ahead of Daniel. We're on to Mannion. Mannion was 44 seconds down, which is where I was, so we're ahead of him. And Ian Garrison next, similar, 41 seconds. There we go, 55, so we're ahead of him. And now it is starting to look possible that we will stay in the top 10. Paddock. There's 6 more riders. There's McNulty. He's got a good time. He is on same time as Van Garderen. Eisenhart next. He'll be ahead of us. So we're down to 7th. That's now 8th. And we're getting down to those last few guys. It's going to be tough. Craddock. This is going to be close. He was 30 seconds down, sitting 7th. The Lotto Soudal rider is a much better time trialist than I am, and he stays up there. He goes 32 seconds down. I'm down to 9th. Milton Taylor, only 11th. I could use this one. No, he bumps ahead of us. Oh, no. That was somebody else. That was Chad Haga. Chad Haga crossed the line before Milton Taylor. Milton Taylor did go down. Roscoff goes up. I'm down to 12th. Milton Taylor. How was Taylor above me with the time that he had? He got passed by Haga, and he still ended up finishing above me. So I finished 12th. That was a good time trial. I was one of only a handful of riders around that 1 minute mark, and then it jumped from there. I got up there with them, but I still failed to finish in the top 10, so my team's going to be upset. I had a +2 race day condition. Without that, I easily would have been well over a minute behind. That was the maximum result that we could have gotten. We paced it well. We got a good finish, and we only got as high as we did because of the race day condition. Without that, again, it would have been significantly worse, and I was the last rider less than a minute down. And yet, it's going to go down as a failure. We easily would have been 20 to 30 seconds worse without that race day condition, which would have had me outside of the top 15. Top 25, very reasonable. A top 10 objective when I have a 68 for a time trial? That kind of sucks. We only end up gaining 6 points out of it. And that last race, I finished 12th, and a teammate finished 4th, and I got 0 points out of that race. So, not a good start. Not a good start. Next up, trying to defend the jersey. That jersey was a little bit of a fluke. It's going to be really hard to defend. We do have the fitness peak. We do have an objective. We'll see if we end up with, if we're lucky, a +5 and have a chance to continue wearing that jersey for another year. Without a +4 or 5, I don't see it happening. +4 race day condition today means I actually have a chance. There's a lot of undulation for what is considered a sprint race, so it's going to do some damage. But with that race day condition, and no real sprinters in the U.S. currently, I've got a chance. I do have a chance here. Just 3 riders in the break. They have a 3-minute lead, so it's holding at 3, and that's a really good sign because so often the breakaway takes the victory. Hence that jersey that I've been wearing for a year came from that, right? It's been a full season since then, but I want to say with about 95% certainty that I won the jersey because I was in the break, and then I just beat out the breakaway riders last season to claim it. There was about 5 or 6 of us up there. Could be wrong. I think that was the case. Anyway, it's got a little bit of a sprint. It's got a little bit of punch. The stamina, the resistance. So maybe, just maybe, team objective, top 15. Now, back to what I was talking about on that previous race. The thing that I would like to see changed is the downhill rating being combined with cornering as a technical, like bike handling, like Peter Sagan 85, Kwiatkowski 84 kind of thing. The best bike handlers. So it has some similarities to the cobble rating, but it does now already anyway. I'm good on the downhill, but I would love to see corners actually have some sort of relative impact on things. Right now, like I said, they just simply ride through. They don't actually handle corners currently. Everybody just kind of holds position through there, inside, outside. Nothing's taken into account. We're going to start to slow things down. We are seeing the first attack here by Ben King. These guys going for the punch. I am going for the sprint today, so hopefully there's still a group left. There were 2 riders left in the break. One of them was already caught, dropped, but those 2, along with Ben King, have just been reeled in, and the peloton is starting to crumble. Just 28 riders left as we've been under a high tempo set by my former team, Rally UHC. 17K to go, and just 28 riders here. Now, I've stayed conservative, held position, barely feeling the fatigue. A lot of these guys around me, clearly, the fatigue is something pretty serious, as the group's just been getting smaller and smaller. Owen, are you attacking? No, he's just the latest to accelerate. However, he might open a little bit of a gap if we don't keep up. So this is that time. It's final 10K. We certainly don't want to be too slow and potentially get dropped. So another acceleration, the temporary resurgence of the chasing
While the pack is getting close to the finish line, everybody seems to agree that the stage will be won in a sprint.
Though it looks like it might have been more a factor of somebody in the middle of the pack getting dropped, and then everybody behind them just getting caught up in that. But we're down to 6K, so we're going to use that gel. And here we go. Here's the
Again, an attack is launched.
And
The
it's
group
Ben
has to break
King,
apart.
Vermeulen, Daniel, Eisenhart. There's one last little climb with
5
a little
kilometers
hill here
remaining.
in between. Okay, Rally continuing to chase. It's the EF rider. Alright, we need to start our push to gap this. I'm attacking the little climb though, not in between, but here we go. 3K. Setting ourselves up. We're into third position now. And here comes that final corner and that little uphill swing. This is the time to try to separate yourself from the pack and then into the sprint. Chasing Ben King down. He's got nothing left.
It's going to be
I'm not going to get there first, or am I? It's Vermark on my wheel. Can we win it again? We do. We win it again. Ben King runs out of energy. We chase him down. Kevin Vermark with us to the finish line, but he didn't have any red bar left either. So all 3 of us without red bar. Ben King was more tired because he spent a handful of kilometers off the front and attacking twice in succession. I attack late. Vermark and I both run out of red bar at the same time, but I had about a half a bike length on him, and then that distance just held. And there it is. I will have the jersey again for another year. I'm only a 72 overall, and I have no strengths, and yet somehow 2 years in a row I'm the US's best rider. Is that saying a lot about me, or is it saying more about that we're down on talent a little bit in the US these days? I'm going to go with the later. Paulus, still seen as somebody with a lot of potential. In game last year, PCM 2019, he was the main guy I was up against at the end. GC Tours. He was winning them, and I wasn't, by the way. Sepp Kuss
Now
really
for the race
developed as a
highlights.
climber over the last couple of years in real life. Not here at this race for some reason, but just a climber. Not really having anything else there. You could see the overtake as Ben King was done, and he definitely was not coming back. He was just kind of cruising towards the finish. I didn't think we were going to catch King there, and I thought Vermark would have enough pace to overtake me. The thing about Vermark is he's punchy. It's hills. That hill section was very short. He's got acceleration, but he doesn't have top speed. So I think my top speed is ever so slightly better than his. You can see it went from a full bike length to a half bike length on that final little straight, but we held on. In fact, it was more than that. You can see he was about 3 bike lengths behind. So that was close. That was close. He was going to overtake us pretty soon. But there it is. Second year in a row. National champion winner. 51 points for that victory is easily leveling up. Only a skill point for this one. It's been quite a while since we have developed any attributes as we developed potential the last time, so it has been 3 levels without any gain. Willpower is one thing, but that's a rare thing to use, and I think having 2 of them is enough, so I'm going to tap into personality for a while. Network will ensure we get the job we want. However, I'm staying with Beat Cycling, so we already have that. They already have 100% evaluation of us. So I suppose charisma may or may not affect this contract. I'm going with probably not. It's probably something that appears at the beginning of that, but maybe it will. So we'll do that one. With that win, I jumped to 6th place in the Continental rankings and 8th in the Super Prestige. Now I'm used to doing this by season 2 or sometimes season 3. I'm not used to doing this though with a character who still doesn't have any quality attributes over 70. Any. I'm really surprised I'm able to get the results I've been able to get at this point. Egan Bernal is top of the standings, but the fact that I'm in 8th place right now is just, it's asinine. It is completely bonkers that I am in the top 10. I mean, I'm ahead of Caleb Ewan and Sam Bennett right now. The top sprinters. This is crazy, right? This is, wow. As a team, 5th in the Continental rankings now, 17th in the Super Prestige. But the points that I've been able to accumulate, I mean, I've got half the team's total. So the team itself is still doing okay. But I can't believe how many results I've been able to pull this season in particular. That is my 5th victory now. I really shouldn't have any. You know, the occasional fluke one, but especially playing on max difficulty, I did not expect to do this much with my attributes still at this level. And again, I haven't leveled up properly all season. I've just gotten used to what my rider is capable of and maximizing it most days. We don't always get it right, but we get it just right most of the time. And I'm getting that 99, 100% out of my rider. And we just keep pulling results. Well, anyway, this episode way short compared to what is normal. Do apologize for that. It has been a very, very busy week. I am behind on my recording schedule, and the daycare, our new employee, starts Monday. And then also F1 in Spa this weekend, that Tour de France getting underway. Check out my career mode episode. It was episode number 50, premiered yesterday, where I do my predictions for the tour. So be sure to check that one out to know what I think is going to happen in the tour. But the tour just got started today. just getting underway out of, Nice, right, is where it started. So that's exciting. The tour is on, cycling's back, F1 is back. Premier League's already wrapped up for the year. And sorry, I know they're dually the most supported team, but also the most hated team. But I am a Man United fan. I'm from the U.S., okay? We are part of the Premier League surgeons around the world where we didn't get proper... we call it soccer here. We didn't get proper soccer until a decade ago. And a little bit before then. And there was certainly one big name around the world that got everybody's attention, David Beckham. And then especially when he came to the US and MLS, I actually missed most of that. I was living halfway around the world when he came to the US, and I certainly was not an LA Galaxy fan. But the Premier League had my attention by then, and it was Ferguson and what he was able to do with Man United that drew me in. And so 99% of the time, I am an underdog supporter. Portland Trailblazers, Seattle Mariners. I love Swansea, and not because they got American owners a couple years ago. I love going way down to the lower tiers. Blythe Spartans. That's one of my favorite teams, okay? I have no idea who's on the actual team, but Football Manager. Okay. F1, Williams. Love me some Williams, and I'm really hoping they pull through. Recent ownership change. I'd like them to hang on to Claire Williams, and I think they can come back. And they're looking so much better this year. They are competitive, and they're beating other back markers. George Russell is a phenomenal driver. Easily one of the best in F1 already in just his second season. He's just not in a very strong car right now. But anyway, at times it's been hard for me to be a Manchester United supporter. Jose Mourinho, worst manager in the game. Could not stand him at the helm. So it was hard for me to sit through that period. But, that period's behind us. Anyway, it's an exciting time. It's a busy time. See, now I'm just rambling on and taking time anyway. Oh, man. So much for that idea. All right. Well, hey. So I am going to get going. I'm still trying to get caught up on things. And like I said, I've got a new employee, our first hired employee besides my wife and I doing the daycare. So I got a lot to do. And I got to go get to some of that. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.